degrees.
It's Indianapolis Center. Do you have any test operations restricted area 2508?
Aries 31, roger. Traffic is quite luminous and is exhibiting some non-ballistic motion, over.
Roger, Aries 31. Continue to send at your discretion, over.
Okay, Center. The traffic is approaching head-on, ultra-bright, and really moving. They're right by us right now.
There are 1,000 UFO sightings reported around the world every month. 90% of these sightings can be explained, but 10% cannot. Officially and unofficially, the U.S. military has been investigating UFOs since 1947. Their top secret goal is to find out what's behind these unexplained sightings. The Pentagon classifies them as unusual airborne anomalies, but a better term is X-Files. Join us now as Mack Maloney and Commander Cobra explore these unsolved cases, UFO incidents that baffle even the U.S. military. This is Mack Maloney's Military X-Files. And now, here's Mack Maloney.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. Hey, this is Mack Maloney. Wow, what a show we have for you tonight. But we have a real gang here, so let me introduce the members of the posse. Okay, first, girls, get ready. Get your fans ready, you mister. Sit yourself down with that big box of Kleenex, that big box of wipes, and I guess that extra large squeegee, because he's here, the very famous Juan.
You're going to need the squeegee tonight. Hey, Mac, how's everybody doing? Good to be here. Good to be anywhere, as a matter of fact.
That's right. Hold on. Let me
It's going to be a fantastic show.
I have to get the
Trust me.
The $18,000 sound effects machine. It's way over there, hon. I'm sorry. Okay. Here we go. So what's going on with you there, Wani? Anything?
Well, it's all good lately.
Really?
The secret mission was accomplished, and I'm back here for a while.
Okay. It's in the
I don't know if I can stay for the whole night. It depends on the collateral damage from that secret mission.
Why are you teasing us like that? Why are you teasing all the women?
You know, it's just the way it is sometimes.
Okay. The bad news is Mills Gilfs and Gigi Gilfs. No Coco tonight. He's on another secret mission. He's on an SM, as we say. Because I just realized I could mean something else. So why don't we just stick to secret missions, okay?
Okay.
All right. So he's not here, but not taking his place, but next on the food chain is national correspondent up there in Battle Creek, Michigan, home of the Flakes. Switchblade Steve Ward. Switch.
Great to be here tonight.
Mm-hmm. Get a lot of
Good to see you, Switch.
I love the donuts. The donuts in your background. Now, are those just chocolate covered? Are those Boston cream donuts? Do you know?
No, those are chocolate covered raised donuts.
Oh,
I love those.
Okay.
Not too heavy. You can eat about 3 or 4 of them.
3 or 4 at least. Yes.
I don't
And
know if you need 3 or 4 of them. They're pretty high power.
Are they really? Okay.
That used to be my diet about 30 years ago.
Yeah, don't worry. I think Juan can handle 3 or 4 donuts. So
I could on a regular basis about 30 years ago when I was working hard and doing shows, and I don't know. I could pound those things down. I still didn't gain any weight.
Wow, huh?
And my blood sugar was still good too. Somehow.
How'd that happen? Okay, so going around the Brady Bunch here, we have our security chief, Willie Clubb, is with us. Clubby.
Hey, Mac. Hi, folks. Great to be here. I got to agree with Juan. There's something in the air tonight. It really feels kind of either electric or something. Maybe it's thunder or something. But
maybe it's thunder.
I can feel it.
You're right.
I feel it just like Juan.
Yeah. There's a front coming in, and it's right here, right in the studio.
I thought it was DDT.
I thought it was pot fumes. But, let's see. See how the show progresses. Okay, up there in upstate New York, our favorite good witch, Raven, is with us tonight. Raven, how are you doing, Raven?
Hi, my friends. I'm so good. Thank you for having me.
Looks like one bun. It's a one bun night.
I love those glasses you've got on.
And you're wearing kind of like...
Where'd you get those glasses? You look like a reporter for CNN.
Yeah, I stole them from a reporter. She was hanging out on the street, and I was like, give me those. And she gave them to me.
Those are awesome. Those
really?
Are,
is that real? Is that true?
Reporter glasses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Also,
true story.
Making another rare appearance in the studio with us is the very famous Lois Lane. Lois.
Hi, everybody. It's good to be here.
2 weeks in a row. What's going on?
I don't know. Just the stars aligned.
Okay. All right. We'll decode that later. Thanks for joining us, Lois.
I'm happy to be here.
And now, I suppose we can say he's our first guest. Okay. The grouchy old man himself. Raven's father. We'll just call him Larry S. Why don't we call him Lonely Larry? How's that? Lonely Larry?
Aw.
Does that work?
Aw, he's not lonely.
Look at him.
He's just grouchy.
How could I be lonely in all this fine company?
Okay, yeah. All right, so Larry is Raven's father, but
So why is he so grouchy?
yeah, we don't know. We're trying to figure
Larry,
that
do you
out.
live nearby, same town as Raven, or what?
Lives in her basement.
Yeah,
Maybe that's.
she's one of those mama's boys. She lives about 6 miles away, and I'm there every time something in the house breaks.
Oh, that's cool.
Lucky her.
Which is constantly because my house is ancient.
How about maybe
That happens, Raven.
has she called
Maybe
you
the
over
new
when a
house
ghost has
needs to break.
appeared? Has she called you over when a ghost has appeared there? Lonely Larry?
That's happened.
That's happened, right?
Yep.
What did you do?
We try not to talk about it.
Okay, I understand. So anyway, well, listen, we got a bunch of things tonight. What we're going to be talking about for a few segments is there a chance that there was a nuclear war on Earth about 5,000 years ago? As crazy as that sounds, there's a lot of evidence. And boy, once I started reading into this, there's a lot of really crazy evidence that, something like that might have happened in the subcontinent where India and Pakistan is now. It's really kind of crazy. Some of the stuff you have to kind of take with a grain of salt, but there's actually physical evidence that something might have been going on nuclear-wise 5,000 years ago. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be, Switchy has a report from the Fringe, right, Switch?
More or less.
Okay, more or less, yes. All right.
More like a shooting from the hip report.
Cool.
Fringe.
Okay, we love that. So, and
Those are his best reports, Mac, when he shoots from the hip.
shoots from the hip, yeah, okay.
And just lets it roll out right from his head.
Yeah, when he had libs. Yeah.
Oh, listen. Why, you guys? So listen, why don't we do this? Why don't we, now that we're here, now that we're in the middle of it, why don't we talk to Larry? Okay, Larry, we're going to do this is a new segment that we're calling, and we're going to put in the sound effects right now.
Get off my lawn!
Get off of my lawn. See? Now, listen, off here, Larry, directly and indirectly, I heard that you have a beef. You have a beef, correct?
I do.
Okay, let's hear it. Let it out. Do you want to lay down?
Okay.
Do you want to lay down on the couch? Do you want a box of tissues?
We'll see how it goes.
Okay, good. Good planning. Okay, so tell us what happened in your life that you're so mad, or at least one of the things.
Well, Mac, 6 years ago, a friend of mine had fallen on hard times. He lost his job, and he was getting divorced from his tramp wife, and he had done he had made some really poor financial decisions, and was really up against it, and he was down to his last dime. And so he asked if I could lend him $2,000. Mm-hmm. And at this time, I wasn't working steadily. I had just a year earlier launched my freelance career, and it hadn't really taken off yet. But the humanitarian you know me to be.
Oh, wow!
I couldn't turn my back on a friend in need, so I gave him the $2,000.
Okay, write that down, Lois. We might need them later.
So. Over the 6 years and change,
yes,
he has made small payments.
Go ahead.
Although not since it's been more than a year and a half since I've seen a dime from the guy. Mm-hmm. And a few days ago, I texted him about something, and he texted back that he was heading to Chicago later that day. He was flying from Boston to Chicago.
Yes.
And was going to meet up with some people and go to a Notre Dame football game.
Wow.
And so I asked him, tact is, I'm all about tact, so I wouldn't confront the thing directly, but I asked him, are you going to be in Chicago on business? Like, you're going to tack on this football game. He says, no, it's just, it's just pleasure.
On your dime.
Pardon me?
On your dime.
On my dime.
Yes.
So now, meanwhile, this guy is pretty prolific on Facebook. So he's, I'll see him in Cape Cod. I'll see him at Niagara Falls, at a bed and breakfast here and there.
Huh.
I know that he got engaged a while back, and he bought his fiance a a really big diamond.
Wow.
And it just torques me off.
Yes.
That he can't shake loose a few dollars.
Yes.
To at least show a good faith effort.
Yes.
To pay back the rest of the money that he owes me.
Okay.
I got to tell you something else about this guy.
Okay.
Add a quirky dimension to this story.
Okay.
So,
can you stop moving your laptop there, please, Lonely Larry?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Stay still.
So, back when I lent him the money,
go ahead.
He was living near me.
Yes.
He was living in a really big, nice house that he was renting. It was much more house than he needed and obviously could afford.
Oh boy. Okay.
So to defray the expenses, he was living with this woman.
Go ahead.
He invited her ex-husband to live with them.
Whoa, wait, hang on. They're having a lot of fun with your $2,000 there, my friend.
Now, I want to tell your fans, in case they think they switched to the Jerry Springer show, that this is still Mack Maloney's Military X-Files.
Yes.
And this guy was living with his ex-wife's, with his girlfriend's ex-husband. It's
freaky.
Just a really strange story.
It's freaky deaky.
Just a lifetime of bad decisions.
Right.
And it just it just irks me that he continues to
screw you
to live his lavish life.
Okay, let me ask you.
Apparently, ignore the fact that he owes me money.
Can I ask you a question?
He owed you money.
No,
with all that excitement going on in his life.
Right, he's so busy. He's going here and there.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry, have you given any thought to maybe sending someone over to break his knuckles?
Not right. No. Educate him.
Had enough patience.
Educate him.
I think it's time to move it up.
Right.
Bob has a point.
Why don't you take the simple approach and say, "Where the is my money?"
Doreen, take a note of that.
Hang on, Doreen.
What's the time limit?
Lois.
Mac, you know better than any. Well, you and Raven know very well, because I'm just too nice of a guy to do a thing like that.
Yeah, right. That's it. That's the reason.
All
okay.
that.
All right. I'll tell you what. How about we do this? Okay. Our first ever segment of Get Off My Lawn. How about if we got the $500 back from you? Would you give us a commission?
I'll give you 20%.
20%. Now let's see.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, that's
one of each of us can go and break his knuckles.
Well, that's what I'm going to say.
He's got 5 per hand.
We'll have to buck up for that. Okay. All right. Well, give us this info off air, and we'll see what happens. Okay. His name is.
I appreciate that.
His name isn't Gary D'Agostino, is it?
Well, we'll call him Randy. How's that?
Okay, Randy. All right. Okay. Okay. Wow.
But is that the end of the story? Did you confront him?
Is there no punchline, Lonely Larry?
No, I'm just stewing in my grievances.
And at what point did they or you see a UFO during all this? There was a lot of UFO activity while this was going on?
Well, there's constant UFO activity, Mac. You know that better than anybody.
Excellent. Thank you, Larry, for saving the segment. Okay, well, there's the story.
Aw, I feel bad for Larry. I mean, he was such a good guy to help out, and the person obviously was ungrateful.
Right. See?
Doreen, I knew you would understand.
That's Lois. Yeah. Lois to you. Hey, look it. What's that
it's
thing?
It's worth a drone strike there, Mac.
I'm thinking drone strike, yeah. Call Coco in.
But really?
Yeah, either that or just get over it and move on with your life.
Wow, okay.
Oh, no.
It's not worth it.
Can you take it?
He should at least be bringing him back a souvenir from Chicago or something.
Oh, I'm sure Larry would love a football from Notre Dame, from the Notre Dame game.
The sports matches.
How about a deep dish pizza?
There you go. Food award.
All right. Well, Larry, thanks for, letting us in on that story, a little bit of piece of your life.
Oh. Okay. Well, now we understand why he's grouchy.
There you go. Well, that's one of the reasons.
That was the question. So.
It's only a 2-hour show. So
always happy to share, Mac, and it's always a pleasure to be here.
Okay. Well, why don't we do this? In case we have to cut this out, why don't we take a commercial break now? And we'll be right back after this. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. We'll be right back after this.
We've all heard of Area 51, the U.S. government's top-secret base in the Nevada desert. But have you ever heard of Area 52, or 53, or 54? 54? How about Tonopah Test Range, or the Navy's secret base inside the Bermuda Triangle? Find out about them and more in Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, Mysteries of the World's Most Forbidden Places. Did Richard Nixon show Jackie Gleason a crashed alien spaceship near the swamps of Florida? Is it true that more UFOs are seen over a small Scottish village than anywhere else in the world? And is there a secret place in Russia that some people think is heaven on earth? In Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, you'll visit more than a dozen top secret places around the globe. The haunted forests of New Jersey, a valley in Colorado where shadows come alive and humans can fly without wings. And where's the only secret base in America that's not been visited by UFOs? You've heard Mac talk all about these places on his radio show. Now you can read all about them yourself. That's Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, Mysteries of the World's Most Forbidden Places. Now on sale at Amazon.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Mill Tracks, our show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. Wow, what a show we have for you tonight. Let me quickly introduce who's here and who's not. Girls very famous Juan is here.
Hey, Mac, how's it going?
Going good so far.
Very loud motorcycle just went by.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
No Coco tonight, sorry. Middle-aged ladies, but he'll be back next week. Switchblade Steve Ward is with us up there in Battle Creek, the Battle Creek of the Republic. Switchy.
Yeah, it's great to be here tonight.
All right, that's good. Our security chief, Willie Clubb, is checking in. You're in your new house, right?
I am. I'm in the new location, and after a couple of weeks, we finally got things working the way they should be.
Oh, good.
At least
Okay.
for now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You sent me an email.
It's great to be here, of course, too. So.
You sent me an email saying how much fun you were having unpacking 150 boxes, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yes. Okay. It always is. Nothing like moving, man. It's like almost as much fun as going to the dentist. Hey, look at our good friend, our favorite good witch Raven is with us. Raven.
Hello, my friends. Thank you for having me.
Glasses and one bun. If you're keeping score, she's got these big kind of librarian glasses on.
The glasses are a big feature there tonight.
And,
Yeah.
And a bun.
It is a fashion statement.
I snatched him off an old biddy on the street.
Wow.
She never saw it coming.
Someone
got
is
the same prescription as her, or are they just plain glass?
We must.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just like those dollar store readers.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know.
Okay, we'll find out.
They look good.
Also, joining us is Lonely Larry, who was complaining about something in a segment that you may or may not hear. But Larry, how are you doing there? Double L.
Doing great and absolutely delighted to be with you again.
Really? Okay. When's the last time you used that word?
I use delighted many times a day. It's a delightful word, and I am truly a grateful, happy person.
Wow.
He's not grouchy at all.
No, not at all. No. This is his on-air persona. Anyway,
He's
look.
a delightful guy.
We have a top 10 list tonight. Okay? You ready for this? Top 10 reasons Switch knows it's autumn. Okay? Top 10 reasons Switch knows it's autumn. Okay? You have the list there, Raven?
I have the list.
Okay.
Are we ready?
We are ready. Are you going to cue the music?
Let's start the music right here. Number 10, the fall wigs are in.
The fall wigs are in. Number 10. Top 10 reason.
What's a fall wig?
Switch knows it's fall. The fall wigs are in. Okay. All right. Number 9, please.
He starts working on his Mothman Halloween costume, complete with wings, tail feathers, and a jetpack.
Yay.
Right? Yeah, this year, right? You're going to add the jetpack there, Switchy?
I want to see that.
We all do.
Right, because we wanted to have some flight capability.
Yes.
Right.
Flight capability.
Rather than just me flapping my arms.
Right. Or on a wire somewhere.
You don't want to be lame about
The
it.
illusion doesn't capture it right, with my arms.
Exactly.
Oh, Mothman season.
Number 8, please. Top 10 reasons Switch knows it's autumn.
Number 8, the autumn of your years senior discount starts at Denny's.
There you go. Right. It's worth 10%, isn't it? Switchy?
And why not? I defend that.
There you go.
That's a good gig.
Next one, please.
Number 7, he grows a beard like that guy in Game of Thrones because, winter is coming.
Right. Is that what's going to happen?
Like that guy in Game of Thrones. Which one?
Switch. Can you laugh a little louder, please, Switch? Laugh a little bit closer to the microphone. So
I
we
was
know you're
thinking more like Vikings.
Vikings.
That was
Vikings,
a
yeah.
muted laugh.
Okay, all right. Next one, please. Top 10 reasons Switch knows it's autumn.
Number 6, he gets... He gets orgasmic reading the PBS fall TV schedule.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I do that too.
I was going to say that's one.
Yes.
I clip and save it. Scotch
They
tape
do it
on
together.
When I
TV.
send texts back and forth about the PBS fall
I'll
schedule.
bet. Okay. All right.
Apparently, it's a big deal.
Okay, next, please. Right.
Number 5. He starts betting heavily on NFL football. Whoops. No, that's Mac.
Oh, sorry. I got mixed up. Okay. Not Switchy. That's Mac. Okay, next one, please. We're going to have to sweeten this baby up.
We are at number 4. He dresses up his secret shrine to Raven with new autumn scented candles.
What?
He dresses up.
Scented candles.
Here we go. He dresses up his secret shrine to Raven with autumn scented candles.
Oh, so you got the pumpkin spice,
Yes.
the apple.
Right.
Apple. I don't know. Is
Wow.
apple a candle
It's
scent?
in the fruit cellar down in the basement.
I was going to say. That might have hit
Perfect
a
place for it.
little close to home. Okay. Top 10 reasons Switch knows it's autumn, please. Hopefully, number 3.
3. His new CD, Switch and the Baby Sausages, is about to drop.
Okay, he's been working on that for a long time.
Oh my God, I love it.
Wow, Switch. Okay. Switch has his head down. He looks like he's praying. All right, next, please. Number 2. Reasons that Switch knows it's autumn.
He hires some illegal aliens to rake the leaves around his house.
Oh, wow. Listen. No, hang on. They're aliens from Mars. You know what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gray
Gotta
aliens.
clarify
They're good
that
with the
over
rakes.
here.
They're good landscapers.
I'm PC, okay?
Right. Okay, and we're at the end of the list.
And the number 1 reason Switch knows it's autumn, he starts to bury nuts for the long winter ahead.
Right.
I think we need to add one that I was thinking of.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, his wig is changing colors.
Well, I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
The fall wigs are in. Okay, Switchy, you should be laughing like crazy, and yet you're not.
He's reaching for the donuts.
I'm laughing on the inside.
Are you really? Okay, we'll take your word for it. Okay, well, listen, now that we're talking, now that it's all about you. Oh, there we go. Look at this.
Oh,
yes.
The switch has begun.
Is this a new wig?
This is my comb over. You know, Clubb's always been ripping on me about my toupee, so I thought, get rid of the toupee and just do the comb over.
The comb over's working. Yeah, it's really working for you there. Okay.
This is the first fall wig.
All right.
Very impressive.
Yes.
Lois knows.
Thank you.
We're all very
Don't want
impressed.
people think I'm losing my hair.
Yeah, no, don't worry.
Yeah, no.
That's
They're not going to suspect anything.
right. Hey, Lonely Larry, you could use a little squirrel on top of your head. Did you ever?
No, you know, absolutely not.
No, why not?
I absolutely embrace baldness.
Do you really? Okay.
Going bald is one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Is that right? Why is that? Chicks dig it?
Well, here's why.
Okay.
When I had hair, it was really fine, and I could never,
Manage
get
it?
it to do anything that I wanted it to.
Okay.
And without putting a lot of mousse or some crap in it.
Yes.
And it was too much trouble. So when it fell out, I was relieved.
Huh. Okay.
Plus, I'm just so damn good looking as a bald guy.
All right.
It's true, you are, Larry.
Wow.
Yep.
Lonely Larry. We
And you
put-
save $25 on the cut, you know?
No, he goes to the barber.
No, yeah, it's $5.
Yeah?
He
Yeah.
goes to the
do,
barber.
and I-
It's a waste
and
of
I-
money.
It's
I tell him
12 bucks.
constantly.
12 bucks.
I tip
Plus a
him.
tip.
I tip my barber handsomely.
Do you really?
I do too.
So
Okay.
there's really no savings, but I like the barber. It's one of these male bonding things. You talk about women
Stuff.
and tools and testicles. And
Real? Whoa. Okay. All right.
What?
All right. What barber shop do you go
I
to?
had my haircut today, this morning, and we did not talk about testicles.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Carburetors,
Good to know. Carburetors?
No.
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 Okay. All
fuel
right.
pumps. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
My barber has a 1948 Cadillac. Really cool car.
Oh,
Why is that not a big surprise? Okay. All right. Thank you. Another peek into Lonely Larry's life. So listen. Now that we're talking all about Switch, as the gigantic donuts in the background, Switch.
We're talking about barbers.
Big part. Well, I'm trying to. It's a gazinta there, Lonnie.
I
biggest
had
part
a
of
barber story, but we'll save it for
Well,
the
let's
next time.
hear it. We're talking about barbers. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a female barber, of course, in Salisbury.
Of course.
And she's a MILF. and she likes to go to concerts and stuff. So we talk about concerts all the time. She says, "Hey, Juan, what concert did you go to recently?" You know.
Yes.
We have this great, bonding over music and, occasionally over kids. And she's like a smoke show.
Smoke show.
And I tip her handsomely too, just about as much as I tip the girls at Farmer's Kitchen.
Wow. Okay. All right. Maybe you should borrow some money off of Larry. Sounds like you're running out. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Switch. I'm trying to steer it back to you there, buddy. So look, this is the biggest skew of the show, what everyone listens in for. Switch, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
This morning, I had a dental appointment.
Uh-oh.
So coincidentally, if you take just a slight detour from the dentist to head home, you pass right by Sweetwater's Donut Shop.
Oh, the best donuts in the world.
Baby.
Okay, go ahead.
So I went inside. I had a book because I'm working on a couple of presentations.
Okay.
I got 2 donuts and coffee for there. And you can get refills while you're there.
Yes.
So it's actually in a real cup. Real glass cup.
Yeah, like the way that Duncan used to do it.
Duncan used to do it that way.
Yes. Yep. So what?
Do you remember that way, Raven? That was a long time ago.
She used to work on it. She used to manage it, Duncan.
I experienced it. It was great.
I had a maple frosted raised donut.
Wow.
And a Homer Simpson.
Oh, really? A pink?
What's the Homer Simpson?
Homer Simpson is a raised donut that has kind of like a strawberry frosting with sprinkles.
Yeah,
the one they show him eating. Okay, gotcha.
Right. I've never tasted the cartoon one, so I'm assuming it's close.
Sure, it tastes the same.
I bet the cartoon one is great.
Wow. Okay, Switch.
And when
that's
you
good.
Eat, you go dope.
2 donuts and an endless cup of coffee. Is that what we're talking about?
It's 3 cups.
3 cups. Okay.
One cup and 2 refills.
What was the bill for that? $8?
About $3.50.
How much?
3.5.
3.5. Man, around here, one donut costs $3.50.
I was gonna say like that'd be like $10 here.
Yeah.
Aren't you gonna ask if I left a tip?
Yes.
I got a tip cup there.
Yes. What's the tip? Oh, and the tip cup. Okay, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, how much you leave?
Different deal, right?
What you leave? Change?
$5.
$5. Oh,
those baristas love you.
See, I tip people to do jobs that I would not like to do.
That's not the reason.
I would not like to wait on people. Yeah. Especially the ones that want the dozen donuts and want to pick out every damn one. Yeah. When I go to get a dozen donuts, there might be a couple. I can give me 2 of those and then just mix up the rest.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a low maintenance customer when it comes to ordering a dozen donuts.
Boy, I'm with you there.
I tell you something. You and Lonely Larry should be best friends, frankly.
Honestly.
Yes.
I mean, you both drink black coffee.
Oh, man. Yep, like a man. All right.
Yep.
Larry has pitched to me that there should strictly be a black coffee line in a cafe.
Really?
Which I agree. I mean,
there
I
should
drink
be a
black
line
coffee.
for black coffee and a line for all those.
You're in and out, and then everything else is if you want extras, you got to go over here.
And the other line. That's discriminatory.
Any support doesn't need any footnotes. Any explanations? No. Just black coffee. That's the way
it's like a single mom. It does the whole job. You don't need to put any other stuff.
Bang.
Hey, I gotta tell you something weird that happened on Sunday. I was having breakfast.
2-hour show. Go ahead.
2 women at the next table. They both ordered. One ordered breakfast. One ordered lunch. It was close to noon.
Okay.
So before their food arrives, they ask the waitress to bring some cheesecake. And so she brings them one piece of cheesecake. And
appetizer.
Said, "Oh, would you put some chocolate syrup on it?" And she did. And then one of these ladies proceeds to pour a whole crap ton of sugar on the cheesecake.
Oh,
and
man.
they split the cheesecake and then ate their meals.
What
No
the
way.
Thought that was
What
really
the hell?
You didn't take a picture of this?
Yes.
My
What are you
phone
doing?
would have been out the entire. I would have been taking a video.
His phone doesn't have a camera. Are you kidding me? Still has a dial phone.
Oh, that is so nasty.
Why would you why would you add sugar to that melange already? Chocolate syrup on cheesecake. Jeez.
I'm not even sure about chocolate syrup on the cheesecake.
Yeah, well, that's crazy to begin with. Wow. Okay, Larry. Wow. So listen, let me ask you this as sensitively as I can. So how should I say this?
How big were they?
How big were they? Lois wants to know.
You know, that's what my wife asked me.
Oh, interesting.
I guess that's a natural question. One of them was actually pretty normal size, and the other was the older one was. I'll say she was ample. But she was not. She was not enormous.
You are a wordsmith.
Was she full figured, as they say in the trade?
Ample.
Yeah, not in the good way that they used to say full figured.
Like Kate Winslet versus Nicole Kidman.
In the bra commercials, the full figured gal was hubba hubba, right?
Okay.
Well.
Yeah. No, this was
a cleavage you could drive a truck
hubba,
through.
Nor hubba.
Yeah. Either it wasn't hubba or double. Okay. All right. We understand. We get that now. We see the picture. You've painted the picture. For our mind's eye.
You're like Picasso with that one, Larry.
Yeah. Thank you, Lonely Larry. Thank you for that little. Another slice of your life. Well, listen.
Just after that little exchange,
mark
I
the
have
tape
to give,
on that one.
I have
Lois.
to give Raven a lot of credit to do this every week.
Wow, that came out of nowhere. Can you take the knife out of my back, Lois? Can
that was a compliment.
Can you reach
for
it?
Raven. No, it was just a very.
Wow.
Wow. They're ganging up on us, guys. So listen, why don't we take a commercial break now? And we'll be right back after this. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Mill Track Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. Please stay tuned.
Do you know where the world's most secret bases are located? Do you know what spooky action at a distance means? Is there a conspiracy by aliens to prevent us from conquering space? And where is the best place in the United States to see a real UFO? Find the answers to all these questions and more in Mack Maloney's new book, Mack Maloney's Haunted Universe. Visit places you never knew existed. The Phantom Tunnels of Tokyo, the UFO Trail in South America, Hong's Hat, and the very mysterious M Triangle. Mack Maloney's Haunted Universe contains hundreds of reports on ghosts, haunted planes and ships, weird celebrity deaths, mysterious sounds, and a breakdown of every monster in America, state by state. You've heard him talk about it on the radio. Now, get all of Mack's paranormal research in one large volume. Mack Maloney's Haunted Universe, with a foreword by the very famous Wan Wan. On sale now in your local bookstore or on Amazon.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Mill Track Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. Wow, what a show we have for you tonight. Very quickly, we got a gang here, so let me introduce all of them this time. Girls, the very famous Juan is here.
Hello, Mac. Hello, girls. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
It's been wonderful so far.
Wonderful is the word. Yes, the big W word.
Delightful, actually.
Delightful. We've been throwing that around earlier as well.
It's lovely. It's delightful.
That
no
it?
Singing.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm delirious with delight. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, middle-aged ladies. No Coco tonight. No Coco tonight. He's on a secret mission protecting the country. However, Switchblade Steve Ward is here. Switchy.
Great to be here tonight.
2 donuts and lots of black coffee for breakfast. Yep. Okay. Good. What you have done at the dental? Were you wacky from the gas, and that's why you went in get donuts?
No, don't get any gas. Just no, just a sharp pick, just to clean it.
Oh,
just they don't do gas anymore. I miss that. I used to love nitrous oxide.
I've never been gassed.
If they do.
They do?
Yeah, they did it when I had my oral surgery done.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I've had it once. I had it once, and the dentist had to come to me and say, do you have someone to drive you home? Because you...
Right.
Yeah, we turned it up too high or something. We had it on 11. Yeah. But anyway, yes. Okay. So it's just a cleaning for Switch. You didn't get Novocaine for the cleaning Switch? You don't take the needle? No? Okay. All right.
I mean, if I'm manly enough to drink black coffee, I don't need a Novocaine for a cleaning. Yeah. Good Lord.
Hey, Mac, one of these days I got to tell you about my dental hygienist.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a good story. We can't tell them yet. Let me introduce the rest of the posse here. Security Chief Willie Clubb is with us. Willie.
Hi, Mac. Great to be here. Hi, folks. I just wanted to add something to what Switch was saying about the cleaning.
Yes.
Now, I go in for cleanings, and they call them root cleanings. Have you ever had a root cleaning?
Is there a root cleaning in there, Switchy?
You've had periodontal surgery. If you've had gum surgery, you have to go in and they actually pick right down to the root.
Oh, wow. No.
Every single tooth, and you do it quarterly. And he's sitting there, I just had it done again about 3 weeks ago.
Ooh.
And he wears that mask. And they all wear the clear mask now because of everything.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it starts squirting the blood all over his mask.
Oh, man. Holy cow.
Oh, that's
Are we on the air?
He had to stop because he couldn't see. He had to call his nurse in to wipe the blood off the mask.
That's like a horror movie.
God.
Goodness.
So you tell me, and I don't take medication for that. I don't take no medicine. But you want to be a real tough person.
I have to
take
through
a root cleaning without.
I have to take medication.
You're numb afterwards.
I have to take medication just after hearing it. Wow.
And
really, you do that every
one I've had so far.
Every 3 months you go in and you do this? Every 3 months?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yikes. Oh,
Yikes.
no.
Yeah.
I need Novocaine just for the cleaning. I can't get through that.
Really?
I mean, I've had root canals, but I haven't had what she's talking about. Wow.
Wow, that's bad. Okay. Anyway, let's go on with the introductions. Our favorite good witch, Raven, is with us. Hello, Raven.
Hello, my friends.
Okay.
Thank you for
Hello,
having
Raven.
me.
Are you undergoing any
Hi.
medical procedures?
I was going to say, she's...
Will I be or have I?
Have you?
Either one.
That you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, okay. Well, she was gassed at one
I
point.
had hip surgery when I was 27.
I had hip surgery too.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Surgery and then
Cheers.
17 years later, a replacement.
Huh.
Yeah, I'll need a replacement at some point, but
That's right.
Okay.
good for now.
Okay.
Cheers.
I'll drink to that.
Have you ever had a hemorrhoidectomy?
Now, listen, hold on a second.
Yes, I have.
No, listen. All right. Okay, stop. All right.
Wow.
This
Now
past
it's the-
segment brought to you by OP.
26 years ago.
Now it's Mack
It really
Maloney
hurt.
medical files.
I bet.
OP and Medicare. Make sure you
You said
sign
pretty
up.
good, though.
I'm gonna have to. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut this out. This is
Can you
crazy.
believe this?
All right, look at. Also with us. I don't
started
believe it.
this.
Oh, Lonely Larry is with us. Lonely Larry up there in upstate New York as well. How you doing there? Double L.
Yeah, I'm just splendid.
Splendid is
Truly
the new word.
splendid,
Okay.
Mac. And we're talking about dental cleanings. I have to confess that I am in love with my hygienist.
Okay.
Oh, I know how that feeling is.
Every time I go for a cleaning, I eat an entire box of Oreos in the car just beforehand.
Wow.
Let's see. What's
What's his name?
I was going to say, what's his name?
What do the Oreos do? They coat your teeth with black crap and sugar.
Oh, you don't go in with a
Cleaning
clean
takes
mouth?
forever.
Come on, Larry.
Listen? No, why? What do you have against this hygienist? He was on your lawn.
It actually, obviously, it's a joke.
Well, it's not that obvious.
What kind of a dick would do a thing like that?
I know, you scared me for a second.
I recently had my first cleaning in a number of years, and the hygienist said, "Well, we're probably not going to get through this whole cleaning today." I thought,
"Wow,
are you serious?"
Really?
But my dental hygiene habits are so spectacular that she just breezed through it. So I got a gold star that day.
Okay,
good for you.
So
he also has an in because Mr. Raven works for that office.
Oh, see,
just so you guys know.
So the fix is
yeah?
Okay, all right. Can I just introduce the last person of our gang here because apparently I forgot to last segment and I was passed a note. Also in the studio with us is we should be a TV show is our good friend Lois Lane. Lois.
Hi, everybody. It's fun to be here.
Is it though, really? Not really, right?
Well, it's a lot of laughs.
A lot of laughs. Okay, all right.
She's going to kill you when you get home.
That's not true.
No, he has it very easy.
I do have it very easy, yes. Yes, I do.
The Plum Island Massacre, that's what it's going to be.
Don't. Come on, why? What are you bringing the bad vibe into it for? Thank you, Lois, for joining us. Okay.
You're very welcome. I'm happy to be here and listen to all this banter.
She keeps saying
Lois,
it, but
this
I don't
could be a
believe
good gig. You're really good at this. You were good last week, and you're fantastic this week already.
Oh,
That's what I said.
I agree.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for keeping time at the times, but she's actually sitting here,
I'm doing a lot of things.
She's doing a lot of things. She's multitasking.
I
let's say.
am. I'm getting things done, checked off my list.
Right. So anyway, listen, the topic tonight was we're going to talk about, this has been around for a while. This has been around since like the the whole ancient astronauts, idea kind of came around the 70s, 60s, 70s. This idea that maybe aliens from a really advanced race came to Earth thousands of years ago and either settled here or who knows what. But there are a lot of evidence, a lot of pieces of evidence around the world that something very strange was happening back in our ancient history that people can't explain. And one of them is that in what is now India and Pakistan, that there was a nuclear war 5,000 years ago. And the main part of this main idea came through in the Bhagavad Gita. I think I said that right. Can you say that, Raven? Do you know that? Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita, that's it. It's the.
I was going to say, I didn't look that part up, but I have other pronunciations I had to write down.
Yeah, no, they're always really, about 40 letters long. But that's basically like the Bible, the Hindu Bible, if I can be, such an elevator pitch. But so it's kind of like the regular Bible. Some of it is myth, some of it is true, is written down different ways and so on. But it tells this very kind of heroic story about these two kingdoms that fight each other in present-day India and Pakistan. And some of the descriptions of what went on sounds like, well, I actually wrote this down. Okay, so just to illustrate what we're talking about, just listen to these two quotes real quick, okay? The first one, this was written 5,000 years ago. A single projectile charged with all the power of the universe, an incandescent column of smoke and flame as bright as 10,000 suns, rose in all its splendor. It was an unknown weapon, an iron thunderbolt, a gigantic messenger of death, which reduced to ashes an entire race. Here's another quote. I saw an intense light cover my field of vision, after which I noted an orange-red glow. A tremendous cloud of smoke and fire was pouring upwards. It was several times brighter than the noon sun. That was written in 1945. They almost say the same thing. Okay, they're seeing something, some great explosion, and the idea that it's kind of a mushroom cloud also comes through there. So that happened. It goes into great detail with this myth that, like I say, it's kind of like the Hindu Bible. But, and these stories have been around for decades anyway, since Eric von Däniken was really the first one the guy who wrote it, Chariots of the Gods, he was the first one to suggest that this might have happened. But as it turns out, they went and they excavated these two cities where this was supposed to happen. And not with the idea of finding out if this myth was true, but just as a archaeological excavation. And what they found was a lot of kind of crazy stuff. So Raven, right? How's that for a gazinta?
Yeah, Mac. So, we're talking about Mohenjo-Daro. I looked up how to pronounce it, and that's how it says. And that translates to the Mound of the Dead. From what I've read, the original name of this civilization has yet to be deciphered because they're having trouble comparing what they found to what it should currently translate to. But I'm not an archaeologist, so I don't know. But we are located in southern Pakistan along the Indus River. This is one of the earliest civilizations known to mankind, and it dates back to around 2500 BC. Mohenjo-Daro flourished with its twin city that was called Harappan. Yet it is unclear if the two existed as equals or if one city succeeded the other. This was discovered in 1922, which was 1 to 2 years after the discovery of Harappan by R.D. Banerjee. So the excavation processes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. The death of this civilization is based on assumptions still to this day. However, some scholars believe that Mohenjo-Daro was flooded due to tectonic uplifts, but there are other researchers who suspect that the city was wiped out by an atomic explosion. It was determined that there were skeletons found that had radioactivity. The fascinating thing, there's no obvious evidence of government or kings or queens or temples. Wow. They were highly focused on modesty, order, and cleanliness.
What? That's no fun.
Yeah. They did find sculptures. They found sitting and standing sculptures. There are some. One of them is called, I think it's The Dancer, and it's supposed to be of like a young girl. So they found things like that were, to me, it feels like it has more of an artistic vibe than it does.
A creepy vibe. Okay. Listen.
Like government or godliness, I guess you could say, if that makes sense.
Let me interrupt you for a second. Now, you said that they live for three things. What was it? Modesty. What are the other two?
Modesty, order, and cleanliness.
Wow. See, Lonely Larry, finally, there's a religion that you can jump on there. Right? Those three things. Is he awake? He's reclined, and his recliner is back in the sleeping position.
So you wouldn't hear my music in the background. Actually, those are, you just described Raven to a T.
Yes.
The three virtues.
Add purity to that list.
Really? Okay.
You painted her portrait.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay. All right, you can go back to sleep there, Lonely Larry. Go ahead, please, Raven.
Good recovery, Larry.
Very good. Excellent. There's a lot of instances where, different civilizations around the world, like we said earlier, just have stuff, or they find stuff that just doesn't fit the timeline. I mean, they've literally found batteries in Iraq that are thousands of years old. I mean, it's true posts with a wire connecting them, and they're, so.
Raven, can I ask, is this anything there that refers to whether they were at war with some other kingdom or something? I mean, is this like a nuclear attack? I mean, what are they trying to, come up with based on all this?
The best thing I could find was that, it could have been with this Harappan, which was very close to them. It was literally right up the river of Indus where they were located. But they seem to, from what I read, they existed as not equals, but they were not hating each other.
Not enemies, right?
Yeah, they just coexisted. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find any reason why they would have been wiped out other than, maybe somebody that had more sophisticated science behind them decided that they were going to use them as
a weapon.
I guess an experiment, which is horrible, but that's the only assumption that I can come up with, but it is an assumption.
In the myths that that a lot of this, I mean, that the first that the story is told in the myths about this place is that there were two rival kingdoms, and it just happens that these two cities were ground zero for where the fighting was going on. But I mean, like, it was like a confederation of like 10 different kingdoms each, but they said that they had airplanes, they said that they had nuclear bombs, they had, just weapons that, weren't of the age, but yet you have these people, writing them down. I mean, this one poem that really gets into, and that's what they are, they're poems, that gets into this battle with the nuclear weapons and everything. It's like 200,000 lines long. That's how long it is, okay? And gets into great detail about stuff that people back then should not know about, but they did. Go ahead. Please, Raymond.
And the other thing, so archaeologists did discover, like I said, pottery and tools.
Yes.
Those are made of copper and stone, seals, the weighing system. They did also discover over 700 wells for drinking water and a system of sophisticated drains. And that was to help with any flooding. And anytime they took a shower or a bath, I guess I should say, in their home, it would drain it outside of the city.
They had
so
flushables.
Then it wouldn't just clog up.
They had flushable toilets. They had flushable toilets, these people. Okay. And they had water coming into the homes. They took showers, they took baths. I mean, the water came into the homes. I mean, this is a long time ago.
Very advanced.
Yeah, really.
Very advanced.
Hey, listen, before we get any further, I just have to take a vote. Okay. I'm going to start with Juan, okay? Juan.
All right.
Are Raven's glasses, they're making it for you, yes or no? Thumbs up?
Yeah,
thumbs
they
up.
are.
Yes.
Yeah, they're just the right fit and size. So they really.
I hate them so much.
Why do you hate them?
No,
Switchy.
really. They're not like oversized googly eye things. They fit her face. Where'd you do it? Like you found them on the street?
No, she mugged some reporter for them. Is the story?
Yeah, no, I took there was an old biddy outside, and I slapped her around a couple times, and I took them.
See? Okay, all right.
I like it. I think it's a good look.
Switch.
Thumbs
up.
Thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. Switch. 2 thumbs up or 1 thumb up, or 2 thumbs up. Clubb.
Oh, thank you, Switch.
Clubb.
Yeah, I hate to be a contrarian, but I think I'd like you in a
You hate to be a
smaller-
contrarian. Yeah, right.
in a little smaller area there, because your face, it sort of hides part of your face, and I think
I agree,
glass,
Clubb.
yeah.
I
No.
100% agree. I
got a
feel
lot
like
there
they are
that you
way
don't
too
wanna
big for
hide
my
it.
face.
Wow, Clubb. Okay. All right. I mean, not exactly sucking the energy out of the room, but, another 2 thumbs up would have been good. So, Lonely Larry, should you even vote on this?
Well,
Especially with that shirt on?
whether I should or not, I will. But I first need to ask, did you also steal a marble ride from the old lady?
Oh, I should have. Darn it.
That's okay.
She had a marble rye in her bag. I should have taken that.
If you had just taken the rye from that old bag and left there with the glasses, I think you would have gotten the better end of that deal.
Lonely Larry.
Hindsight.
Hey.
Now, speaking of glasses, we're paying so much attention to Raven's glasses. I literally changed my glasses while we were talking.
I wasn't going to say anything
familiar to
because you're a
anybody?
Leo.
I
And
literally
you're just
did
going to
this
go on and on
nobody
about
said
it.
a word. So,
and that's important.
It didn't change your look at all, Larry.
Nothing. Did nothing for you.
You don't think this is kind of a Clark Kent thing?
No, hey, listen, Clark Kent.
I don't see it.
Do you want me to take a vote?
Okay.
Do you really want me to take a vote?
Oh, Lois has something to say.
Uh-oh.
Well, I didn't get asked to put in my vote.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Lois Lane should have a say in a Clark Kent vote.
Okay.
I would say that Raven looks good in anything because her positive energy just exudes through the screen.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my God.
We might have to
thank
put.
you.
It's true. I mean, it's
Gotta go
really
put my
true. You
boots
don't
on
even.
now.
She kind of. That's what. Looking at the Zoom screen. Sorry, guys. She's what everybody pays
Okay, well,
attention
listen,
to.
forgive me ahead of time if I put some porn music on there, all right?
Ew.
Okay, listen.
Right?
Sorry.
That's the thing, right?
Go ahead, please. Is that the report?
No, she has more.
I have 2 more things.
Okay, all right, 2 more things. Yes.
Okay. During excavation, numerous sculptures, figurines, tools, carved seals, and children's toys were unearthed. And it was also evident of their wealth because they did discover ivory, lapis, and gold beads, as well as the stunning brick buildings.
Right. So they had a lot of money. They were.
To me, it was clearly a very civilized and sophisticated city.
Right. It's funny how so many of them just kind of disappear. But so one of the things that they that they when they excavated these 2 places, and they found things like they found like a skeleton that had like 50 times more radiation in the bones than that they should. They found a lot of like evidence that something very strange happened there. And the thing that got me, and Clubb and I were talking about it off air, is that people have been finding for years this stuff called desert glass, and they just thought it was like from meteors or something like that. But so much of it is around the world it couldn't possibly come from meteors. So, am I right there, Clubb?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a theory on this trinitite, they call it, which is supposedly resulted from the first nuclear test back in the New Mexico desert back in 1945. At that time they went, after the blast, they looked all around the area there, and in the sands, they found this green glass, and it was a glass-like substance, and they'd never seen it before. So they did a lot of work on it, studying it, and eventually Robert Oppenheim, who was the head of the Manhattan Project for that blast, he went over there and he named it. He gave it the name of trinitite because Trinity was the code name for the detonation of that first nuclear device in New Mexico. So anyways, that whole issue of trinitite, is being disputed now. I know, Mac, so you sent me some material and I reviewed it and did some research, and there is, some areas where folks are debunking that, saying that really trinitite, there's records of trinitite going back many, many years. One example they gave was in 1932, and this is, obviously 13 years before the blast. Over in the African desert, there was a group from the Egyptian Geological Society, and they were out there in the desert, and they discovered a very similar looking thing to trinitite. So first of all, the thought is that trinitite, is the result of the nuclear blast, because of the heat. I mean, it takes temperatures above 1700 degrees centigrade to develop this. You know how they talk about diamonds, it takes a lot of heat and all that. So anyways, the theory always was from the scientists at Los Alamos that, trinitite was really just developed at that time. But looking back, they go back to 1932, but much further than that. There was something there about in Iraq and Libya that they found a very similar substance that could go back 28 million years. And again,
28 million.
Yeah, and again, there's a thought that may have been caused by some kind of nuclear detonation, Raven, similar to what you've talked about in India, only 8,000 years ago. So, the theory now is that maybe, there was something, there were more sophisticated weapons, nuclear type weapons, long before, World War II. The only thing is that it's all being based on trinitite. And I think the jury's still out on that as to, trinitite and how it's formed. But it's an interesting thing. There's I'm sure a lot more we'll be reading about that. But there seems to be a growing group that believes that there was some type of nuclear capabilities going back then. A long time ago, long before, the current generations. And so, more to be seen. In my research, like I say, it goes back to, something in 28 million years ago. But, they go back to the, obviously, the case in India. So anyways, right now, trinitite, just so you'll know, is something that you're not allowed to mine or go to. Years ago, after the blast in the desert, for a couple of years after that, people were allowed to go in there and collect samples.
Wow.
And then they realized that this trinitite, if you smash it, it does have a small radioactive element to it. So since I think it was 1952, they closed the Los Alamos area so that no one can go in there anymore and pick up any pieces of it. So that's why there's a big amount of research going out in the African deserts and all that to see if they can find more about it. So right now, the only proof we have is that trinitite was definitely the result of that nuclear testing in New Mexico, which eventually ended up in a bomb over Nagasaki.
Right. Yeah.
So that's it. But it's an interesting theory.
Here's the funny thing is that, so let's say that, we're the people who light off the first nuclear bomb, and they've, done all the research, took 5 years, very top secret project, so on. They light it off. It works. And then they go out and they examine, they see all this stuff around, right? And the trinitite, because they named it after the Trinity test. So they say, hey, it's almost arrogant in a way. It's like, hey, this must have formed because of our atom bomb. Not knowing that people have been picking this stuff up in the desert and stuff for hundreds and even thousands of years, right? And they say in the key, and some of the stuff that we read today was that there's only a certain temperature that you can fuse things together. They call it glassifying, okay? And it has to be around 1,700 degrees. And that's around the temperature of a nuclear bomb. It's also the temperature if a meteor hit the Earth. If a meteor comes down and hits the Earth, it's going at such a speed, the kinetic energy can raise temperatures up to that level, and that would be a way to glassify sand and stuff like that. But not that many meteors have hit the Earth that I think they know about most of them, and they find this stuff out in the middle of the desert. They find it everywhere. And a lot of people just, they don't say, hey, this is from a nuclear war, but they say, how is this stuff being formed? We know in New Mexico it was formed by an atom bomb. What's all the rest of it been formed by? Not that many meteors. It would take hundreds of thousands of maybe hundreds of meteors to hit the Earth to create as much of this stuff that people have found, and they call it all different things. And
it's like you said, Mac. It's the heat. It's 1,700 degrees centigrade.
Centigrade.
Just imagine that. What could create that kind of heat?
Right.
That's it's not something that they'd be sitting in the sand for thousands of years, and all of a sudden it gets hot enough to develop this product.
It's a product of it's a reaction. It's a product of something, and it's nuclear waste in a way. I mean, it was, it's just a different form of nuclear waste. So the question is why have people been finding this stuff that's like 3,000-4,000 years old? How could that be? I'll just say one more thing real quick. There's this place in Gabon, okay, Gabon. Is that in Africa, Juan? He's not here. He's stroking his cat. Oh, Lonely Larry, you have a cat. That's good, so you're not that lonely. Lonely Larry, okay, he's not talking, but he's stroking.
Gabon, is that what you said?
I was going to say no, yes. Has he bonded with the cat? Is this a
God, who knows?
What do they call
Cat
those?
and I are really tight.
Uh-huh.
I don't mean that in a weird, sick way. So just
you're the one who brought it up there,
those
kid.
thoughts out of your mind.
Is it what do they call those animals that they let you bring on the airplanes, Lois?
Oh, emotional support
animals.
Support animals, yes, yeah. Is that
right? Yeah. Yes, that's what it is.
Is that what's going on there, LL?
Technically, my beagle is an emotional support animal.
Oh.
Well,
he is.
Really?
He is. He shouldn't be.
Scotch and water.
He needs emotional support.
He does, yeah, he needs a cat.
He has a cat.
Oh, he has a cat. Well, then.
It's Friday.
Oh, that's right. Well, then the cat's going to need someone soon, like a mouse. No? Yes?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So there's this place in Gabon, Gabon, which I think is a country in Africa, and people are doing the same thing. They had uranium mined in there. A lot of uranium is actually mined in Africa. So they went in and they're mining the uranium. They're taking it out of this gorge. And people are in there and they're, just like engineers and scientists and stuff, just wrapped up in this thing. And they noticed that in one particular part of this mine, there was radioactive waste. And they said, well, wait a minute, how did this happen? So they looked into it, and they found out once again it was whatever the material turned into be. It was something else before. It was subject to 1,700 degrees. It transformed it into this whatever it is now. It's basically radioactive waste, nuclear waste. So they did more studies in it and so on and so forth, but they could not explain it. The uranium has been there for millions of years, who knows, okay? But why in this uranium mine would there be radioactive waste when radioactive waste is only the byproduct of, like nuclear fusion, nuclear fission, whatever, nuclear reaction? How they do it, and this is thousands and thousands of years old. How can you explain that?
It's hard to, because there's no other reason that they've been able to find that would create that kind of heat, to come up with this kind of element.
Right, and the meteor didn't hit it. There was no meteor involved because there's no big, huge crater. So near a uranium mine, or a streak of uranium, let's say, in the ground, they found radioactive waste. And if you really want to just take that one more leap, if way back when these people were mining uranium to make nuclear bombs, which we're talking about tonight, how there have been nuclear wars thousands of years ago, it almost makes sense that there'd be radioactive waste on the same site.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not that great
but
of a
it's very bizarre that
there's another
it
point
would even
too,
be there.
Right.
Mac, and that is that they've first thought that there has to be some kind of a crater. But that isn't true. In Africa, where they found some of this stuff, there's no craters. But then, if you go back and look at for example, the nuclear bombs in Nagasaki. Those bombs did not create craters. Those bombs went off, I think it was 2,000 feet in the air. They were detonated. So it's not as if they were set off by impact. They never hit the ground. They detonated way up in the air. So there were no craters during the Los Alamos situation. So that sort of makes the theory, go a little further, that they haven't seen any craters in Africa, but doesn't have to be, because if a nuclear device went off air blast, it wouldn't be a crater. I don't know. It's interesting. I hope they come back with some more research on that.
The thing that we always hear is that when you're let's say a scientist, okay, and you're making a living as a scientist, you work for some university usually, or you're working for some corporation, who knows, and it's like airline pilots. They don't want to make a big deal about seeing UFOs all the time because it's just not done, Well, someone who's going for a grant or something, what are the chances they're going to get a grant for looking into was there a nuclear war in India 5,000 years ago, as opposed to, something that's a little more money friendly. You know what I mean? They don't want to take that chance. They don't want to be bothered to take on a fringe subject, and that's why a lot of these things kind of remain unknown, Yeah,
true.
So, wowee. So anyway, Lonely Larry, are you learning anything tonight? Lois is concerned about you.
Well, I'm learning how much battery life my laptop has.
Oh, really? Okay,
quickly dwindling. So if I disappear on you, please don't take it personal.
No, you and the cat. Okay, that's good. Hey, listen, what do you have? Some kind of lights in the background there? What do you? You look like you have some stripper pole lights in the background. What is going on there?
Yeah, those are Christmas lights.
Oh,
Christmas lights.
Isn't that weird?
He's getting an early start.
I'm such a
lazy,
a whimsical, jovial person. I keep Christmas lights around the house all year.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Jovial,
Raven.
How could you give thumbs down to Christmas lights?
Raven.
I didn't give thumbs down to anything. We're a radio show. I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen, if you're if you need help,
adds a little levity and beauty to just everyday life. I don't know how you could take issue with it.
Raven, if you need help, just blink your eyes in Morse code. Okay, we'll come and get you. All right. Okay. So, wow, Larry. So, Lonely Larry. So you have your Christmas lights up. You get your jacket on, your shirt on. You're patting the cat. Okay. Your Medicare check came today. Okay. Everything's good in your world, correct?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, that's the optimistic look. Okay, so listen, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick break now, and we'll be back with more fun. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Military Exile Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. We'll be right back.
We've all heard of Area 51, the U.S. government's top secret base in the Nevada desert. But have you ever heard of Area 52 or 53 or 54? 54? How about Tonopah Test Range or the Navy's secret base inside the Bermuda Triangle? Find out about them and more in Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, Mysteries of the World's Most Forbidden Places. Did Richard Nixon show Jackie Gleason a crashed alien spaceship near the swamps of Florida? Is it true that more UFOs are seen over a small Scottish village than anywhere else in the world? And is there a secret place in Russia that some people think is heaven on earth? In Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, you'll visit more than a dozen top secret places around the globe. The haunted forests of New Jersey, a valley in Colorado where shadows come alive and humans can fly without wings. And where's the only secret base in America that's not been visited by UFOs? You've heard Mac talk all about these places on his radio show. Now you can read all about them yourself. That's Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, Mysteries of the World's Most Forbidden Places. Now on sale at Amazon.
One of the things we've been talking about is, were there nuclear wars, were there nuclear weapons being used about 5,000 years ago? Sounds crazy, but it turns out that there's a lot of kind of evidence that people have found, not real French people, like archaeologists have found like fused material in the middle of the desert, that could only been fused at high temperatures that are caused by nuclear explosions. So We're talking about that tonight. Let me introduce the gang. JJ, sorry girls, JJ had to leave. He has a midnight secret mission that he has to complete. No Coco tonight, but Switchblade Steve Ward is here taking their place. Switchy.
I'm happy to take his place.
2 donuts was your breakfast today. What'd you have for lunch?
I had half of an Arby's, what do you call it?
Superman?
Corned beef sandwich.
Oh, wow, corned beef. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the other half I had for dinner.
Really? What you have on it? Don't say mayonnaise.
Just the way it comes. I don't know. Just like corned beef, you know. I had corned beef on my corned beef sandwich.
Corned beef on his corned beef. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's go to our...
You're a real connoisseur, I got to say.
Yeah.
Well, I've been eating a lot of sandwiches lately at home, so I just had to go out and,
Okay. See, you would never get mayonnaise on your corned beef, would you? You can tell us.
Ew. Well, I'm guilty of putting a little bit of mayonnaise on some of my sandwiches.
On corned beef sandwiches?
Well, corned beef, with Munster cheese.
Well.
Good fresh bread.
Is that like a Midwest thing?
Yeah, I hope so.
No, it's a bloody sandwich, man.
I was in
back decades and decades.
I was in a deli once.
Foreign countries around the world.
I was in a deli once in New York City, and a guy came in, he ordered a corned beef sandwich, and he said, put mayonnaise on it. The guy wouldn't do it for him. The guy wouldn't give him the sandwich.
What?
You don't do that. Mustard, if anything, mustard. So anyway.
Well, maybe at Arby's they do, you know.
Well, yeah.
Edible.
They have them in the little packs.
That's true.
The little
Arby's
packs,
is not a new
the little single serve
squeeze
packs.
them,
Yeah. You do that yourself.
There you go.
I just talked to the mysterious person behind the speaker, and they give me a bag of stuff,
Yeah, okay. All right. They know it's you, though. So anyway, okay. So we went to Arby's for lunch. All right. So also, Raven is with us, our good friend, a good witch up there in upstate New York. Raven, how are you?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Now listen,
I'm good. How are you?
Let me paint the picture, okay? One bun night. But big Clark Kent glasses on, kind of like the librarian look, let's say.
Yeah, I found him in the Lost and Found at a school cafeteria.
Wow.
Oh, the story gets
the story changed. Yeah, is that after you beat up the reporter? Okay.
It's after the reporter, but after the old biddy. After the reporter. Wait, before. Yeah, after the reporter, before the biddy. Oh, God, I screwed it up.
Bada boom. Also with us, our security chief, Willie Clubb. Willie, how you doing? WC.
No, Mac, I'm doing great. I'm really just taking it all in tonight. It's just so much to absorb.
Right. That's the word I was looking for, absorb. Speaking of being absorbed, now listen, our special guest tonight, Lonely Larry, is calling us from relatively the same area as Raven. Okay, as I wish we were a TV show because he's in his recliner, he's in his reclining stage, okay? He has Christmas lights behind him. He has a very bizarre jacket on. Okay, he has no hair. He got his Medicaid check today, and that's why he's so happy. And there's a cat on his lap licking itself. Oh, now she's licking Larry. Oh, man, okay. I'm glad we're not a TV show. Okay, talk about painting a picture. All right, so we're back. So listen. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. I don't get to say anything.
Oh, but go right ahead. Turn up your hearing aids. Yes, go ahead.
Unrelated to the cat. Arby's is the only fast food worth eating, and mayonnaise doesn't belong on anything ever.
Ooh,
wow.
That's very definitive.
Yeah, wow, angry man.
It's like you and Switchy should be BFFs, but at the same time, you got beef.
There you go. See? Well, they can work that out. So listen, what do you mean mayonnaise? People put mayonnaise. What do you put on a tuna fish sandwich?
I don't eat tuna. That's disgusting.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's not disgusting. You put enough mayonnaise in it to squish it together, and that's it.
Bada bing.
And then your lettuce and your cheese and your peppers and whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Pass.
Also with us before Larry interrupted us, Lonely Larry, Lois Lane, another double L. Yeah. Lois.
It's a theme.
In the studio with us tonight.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here.
Okay, you have a bun too. Would you call that a bun on top of your head there? What is that?
No, it's just a twist.
A twist. Mm-hmm. Ooh. A bun and a twist.
No, I'm too far away to see it. I can't tell.
Well,
it looks like a bun to me.
Okay.
Well, it's It's clipped in the back.
Clipped in the back.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. That is a twist.
This is Girl Talk. Welcome to Girl Talk.
Well, you had quite the boy talk earlier, so.
Well, that's what the show was about.
I suppose.
Okay. So listen, we're going to go to another segment now called Raven's Book of Wisdom, where she can take anyone's birthday and tell them almost everything about themselves. Okay, and tonight, a very unlikely target is Clubb. So, Clubb, now your birthday is February 8th, right?
Sure is, at least the last time I checked. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
now,
wait a second.
What's weird is mine is February 9th, so we're right in the same neighborhood there when it comes to.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. So
and the funny thing is, you guys have totally different traits
really?
as far as your birthdays are concerned.
Really?
You got that right.
Why?
Yeah.
Because guys from Dorchester used to go over and beat up those guys from Everett. Is that what we're talking about?
That's what it says in my book of wisdom.
There you go.
That's word for word.
I tell you something. We didn't travel as far as Everett. You know, we went to Quincy and that was it.
You couldn't get in.
Couldn't get in, right? Yeah. Yep. So anyway, go ahead, Raven. So take Clubb's birthday. It was February 8th. Let's just, we know a little bit about Clubb. Let's see how much we know. Okay.
Yeah, we're just going to break it down. So he's February 8th. He's 2/8. That is the day of precognition. The definition of precognition, that is foreknowledge of an event, especially foreknowledge of a paranormal kind.
Ooh,
so let's keep that in the back of our minds.
Let's go to the racetrack. Go ahead.
Yeah. He's an Aquarius. He is an air sign.
Yes.
He is ruled by the number 8, and he is ruled by Saturn. So Clubb, you carry a strong feeling of responsibility, but you tend to lean toward caution, and you limit yourself. February 8th people, while warm-hearted, are ruled by Saturn, which can give off a cool or a detached exterior.
Wow.
People born on this day often display great capacity for understanding highly technical matters. You are able to envision what you want to happen, and you can bring that to life
I think he wants a drink.
The power of suggestion and guiding others in a certain direction. That's a nice way of saying you manipulate people.
Wow. Okay, hang on. That's the secret word of the night. Clubb, you're writing this down furiously, I can tell. Go ahead.
What, Mac?
I can tell. Clubb is writing this down furiously, so go ahead, please.
No, I'm recording.
Clubb, I'll send you this. Don't worry. Those born on this day have been thought to read the future because they allow themselves to be so open and highly sensitized to undercurrents of people and things. So even the most average of people born on this day tend to have a sixth sense.
Wow.
You also share your birthday with Emanuel Swedenborg.
Him.
That is a Swedish scientist.
And you know what? You said something about Jupiter. He used to converse with entities from Jupiter.
Wow, there you go.
Yes.
Okay, switch.
So he was a clairvoyant. He had an experience, I think it was around age 52. And he had a paranormal experience, and from that age until he died, he experienced clairvoyance, which is just wild. Like, it just literally appeared from nowhere. So you share a birthday with him.
That happens sometimes. Yep.
This one I love. Jules Verne. Obviously, we know who that is, a novelist. Mm-hmm. You share a birthday with Mary the First, otherwise known as Bloody Mary.
Her. Bloody Mary.
We
wow.
know her. Yep.
There's some kismet.
Evangeline Adams. She was an American astrologer. And we have Nick Nolte, James Dean, and Jack Lemmon.
Wow.
Woo-hoo.
Wow. All three of them. I see all three of them in Clubb.
All of them.
Clubb.
Your daily meditation is, though talents may be given, they need to be cultivated. So that's a good mantra to follow.
That's your mantra.
And your tarot card, I have it right here.
Get ready.
And I have my book of wisdom.
Better be good.
Let me get my camera pulled up here. So,
Clubb, you ready? Oh, there it is. That's good. Good luck.
This is your tarot card.
It's a racehorse.
A lion?
Yep. So this symbolizes typically. So this is a different series of tarot. Normally, the tarot would be a female magician fighting a lion, but I have a different version of tarot, so it's just a lion. This is a nature version.
Okay.
But
female magician.
It does symbolize. It's the 8th card of the major arcana. It's strength and courage. It depicts it's supposed to depict, I should say, a graceful queen. Mine doesn't, but the typical tarot would.
Are you calling me a graceful queen?
No.
You're a lion.
No, you're a lion.
You're a lion. You're strong.
All right. Okay.
You're a confused lion. It's
See?
okay.
Wow.
That's a lion.
All right. Well, you said something about a queen. I don't know.
So the normal tarot card has a queen with a lion on it.
Yeah.
I'll send you this via email. Right. Don't worry.
Go ahead.
So yeah, the queen symbolizes the female magician who can master the rebellious energies and stand for moral as well as physical strength. The card's positive attributes include charisma, determination to succeed. The negative qualities include complacency and misuse of power.
Yeah.
That's my Irish background.
What else you want in a security chief, right? Okay, super duper. Okay, Clubb, you're ready for that?
Yeah, I've got to say I'm very impressed with a lot of the points that you made. I'd say you're probably about 75% on as far as, me personally. I think the big thing you hit that really struck home is I do have a sixth sense. And
I know you do.
I've realized that since I was a very young age.
Wow. Huh?
And I tie that in. I think I told you before, but this is the truth. I had a twin brother identical twin, who died about 10 days after birth.
Okay.
And I always tie into that. And so the sixth sense is a thing that of everything you said, I really...
So when you
gets my attention.
When do you get the sixth sense? When do you get it? Does it just come? You can't feel it coming. You just get a feeling.
Yeah, you don't. It just all of a sudden, shows up, and things. Sometimes it's scary.
Yeah.
But it's there, and I accept it.
Mm-hmm. Did you get a vision that tonight's show was going to be, like a dud?
I get visions of the show. After the show. I don't seem to get them beforehand.
I get those same visions.
I relive them.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Raven's Book of Wisdom. Sounds like you hit 75%. That's not bad.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. Raven.
If you're in the NBA, you'll be getting about $30 million a year. Yeah.
Clubb, I'll send you a more detailed list. I don't want to say it over the air. Okay?
No, I'd appreciate it, because it could be embarrassing, some of the things. But
is there one or two embarrassing things you can say for the show, or you want to just?
I wouldn't say embarrassing. It's there is some personal stuff on the page that I
don't mind if you share a little of that.
Yeah, give us one. Give us one thing that you find embarrassing.
I don't take offense.
Not yet.
It's not embarrassing.
Go ahead.
So there's a portion of this that specifically deals with health.
Okay,
and
that could be embarrassing.
It does mention those born on February 8th may suffer from hidden ailments.
Oh, now he's worried.
I have a cousin who's an Aquarius, and so she is so this to a T. It's ridiculous. Will not go to the doctor unless it is life-threatening.
Okay.
So I can 100% I can relate this to her and be like, oh yeah, she could suffer from something that is hidden until the day comes, and it's it's not something I want to say out loud. I don't want to put it out in the universe.
Off target on that. I'm very big at checking in. In fact, I recently had a proctologist appointment, so I know there's nothing hidden there. But
boom.
Okay, good, because that makes me feel better. I'd rather be
feel
wrong
better.
than right there.
100%. We all feel better. Listen, we have a email from the audience, or a note from the audience. Why do you like Virgos so much? What's about Virgos?
Oh my gosh. So, okay, we have Freddie Mercury, who's a Virgo, Keanu Reeves. They are my best friend, Ashley. She listens to this. Hi, Ashley.
Go ahead.
You know her, my dad, Gin Girl.
Okay.
She listens.
Okay, let's say we do.
Virgos
Go ahead.
are just so, they're like the sign that I wish that I was.
What are they?
Because I feel like they, they have it together like mind, body, and soul. They know exactly what they want out of life. They know how to get it.
Yes.
And they know exactly what, steps they need to take to continue to have that lifestyle.
Switches
and it's something that I just envy. And they have their emotions in check in a way that a Pisces will never have their emotions in check.
Those punks. Yeah, listen, let me ask you this. When is a Virgo? What month are Virgo?
Virgo starts August 24th, and it goes to September 19th.
Switchy's a Virgo, aren't you? Switchy.
No.
He's a Libra.
Oh, he's
a Libra.
Oh.
What's your date of birth?
Talking about punks. Yeah. What's your date of birth?
I can't decide if that's good or not.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
You're
fine.
That's a sign of a Libra.
Signs are good.
Sign of a Libra.
Yeah, because you're weighing your options.
Indecisive. Yes. Okay. All right.
I just can't decide if I'm going to weigh my options or not.
I'll tell you. Do I dare ask this? Lonely Larry, what's your sign? Let's pick you up.
Leo.
Oh, figures. That's in July, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Notwithstanding the fact that this is all crap.
It's not all
really?
Nope.
Why? Okay.
So the funny thing is, Lonely Larry,
yes,
his birthday is the day before Mr. Raven's birthday. And they are
one cake.
Leos to a T. It's disgusting.
Do you have one or two cakes?
One or two.
Do you have one or two cakes? Birthday cakes.
One.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, I don't get the cake.
My birthday is.
The cake is for me.
I don't think I get a card, do I? I don't.
Oh, come
Maybe
on. Wow. Okay, I'm going to go after OP as an advertiser. OP, Lonely Larry. You know what OP is, right?
AARP.
Was that
AARP?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You told me all about it years ago.
No, that's you're mixing me up.
Like 20 years ago.
Mix me up with someone. So listen. So why don't we talk to Switch? All right. Are all the Oh, here's an email. Is Lonely Larry married? I guess we can say he is.
Am I married?
Yes.
Yes, you know my wife.
I'm just answering an email from the audience.
Oh.
Another one.
It's an email that came in.
Another person said Lonesome Larry sounds better than Lonely Larry. I like Lonely Larry, frankly. Lonesome Larry sounds too cowboyish.
They both sound sad.
Yes, sadder. Okay.
So
all
the
right.
person who wants to know I'm married, does it go any farther than that?
Let's talk off, Mike. Okay, so listen, Switch, please save us here. Switchy has a report from the Fringe, which is kind of connected to what we were talking about, where their weapons, way back when, thousands of years ago, like nuclear type of weapons or some kind of weapons like them being used. And all trace of them have gone. Please, Switchy.
Well, there's I'm going to start off with a real fringe. This is sort of the fringe of the fringe. We've talked a little bit about the Shaver mystery in the past. Now, the Shaver mystery dealt with Richard Shaver, who allegedly started overhearing voices when he keyed up his welder torch in Highland Park, Michigan.
This guy's
for his auto body, the forerunner of Ford Motor.
Okay, let's just make sure that people get that. This guy, he would hear voices whenever he started his welding machine, right?
And the important thing is, Mac, they weren't talking to him. It was like he was overhearing conversations.
Okay, go ahead.
Creepy.
And they were things. They were just horrible things. They were these gruff voices talking about causing car crashes and causing plane crashes. He picked up a voice of somebody that seemed like they were in a spaceship in real time out in space, and he heard screams of torture. Well, eventually, he finds out that, at least, in his own mind, that these are a race of degenerate beings living deep beneath the earth.
Of course.
Eventually, he becomes prisoner of these beings. Now, they're called the Darrow. The Darrow, it means detrimental robot, but not literally a robot. You see, the story is that these were essentially aliens. They came to Earth. The Atlans and the Titans, these great majestic races, came to Earth millions of years before. And Earth was a paradise back then. And then something happened. The sun changed. So many of them left the Earth. Some went to hide in caverns. And with their technology, they even made bigger caverns to put their cities in. They had this incredible machinery that Shaver called mech. And these devices could send rays out to the surface to cause people to be influenced. They had death rays, they had influencing rays, they had beneficial rays, and so Shaver believed. Actually, John Keel. I'm going to bring up John Keel.
Yes.
He's just called this sort of a modern day devil theory, because essentially, according to Shaver, these guys could create all kinds of havoc. But the ones that went below, they became the Darrow. They became affected by the radiations from these machines.
Mm-hmm.
So they were no longer these majestic races of yesteryear. They were evil, although some of them escaped the degeneracy. They were called Tarot. They were the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
But they supposedly had all kinds of weapons. So flash forward ahead, these stories get published in Amazing Stories by Ray Palmer, who was the editor.
Mm-hmm.
And they were published as supposedly true stories, but disguised as fiction. Okay.
Funny.
Anyway, the audience really responded. They loved this. They were looking for. They talked about caves that they would find where they would hear voices. And people would talk about their own experiences. But the one I want to focus on has to do with weaponry. At one point, Ray Palmer got this letter from a gentleman who was anonymous at the time, and he said that he and his friend had been shot down over Burma during the tail end of the war. They landed, they crash landed, they found their way to a cave, and there were these horrible creatures inside, the implication being that they actually encountered the Darrow. They had some kind of a heat ray, and his friend was zapped, and he's got a hole the size of a dime in his arm, and the other guy had scars and so forth. So he writes to Ray Palmer, he says, Mr. Palmer, I implore you to stop this, to don't investigate this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a subsequent letter, you find out who this guy was. There's the name Fred Chrisman. Bells.
From the
Fred Chrisman.
Yep.
Yes, he was the engineer of the Maury Island hoax. Some people still think it was a real sighting.
I think it was a real
Washington.
Sighting. I think it was. But go ahead.
Anyway, it's another story.
Yep.
But he also was called before Jim Garrison in an inquiry about John F. Kennedy.
Right.
And the rumor was that Chrisman was one of the tramps on the grassy knoll.
Mm.
So anyway, Chrisman was demonstrated to be a hoaxer. I'm sure this story was utter crap, but it's a good story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll actually be talking about the Shaver mystery, the whole thing, the whole spectrum on it at the Van Meter Visitor Festival at the end of September.
Switchy.
Well, how about that?
Yeah.
We've talked about it before on the show, but this will be with a lot more depth.
Okay.
And it's an intriguing episode. The Amazing Stories fans, the science fiction fans, hated the Shaver mystery.
Mm-mm.
They didn't like Palmer, changing anything over to the Shaver mystery.
Right.
They thought it was utter crap. But there was an incredible response. I mean, there's something about the underground caverns and the sort of those primal fears.
Hearing voices.
I think in people that really resonated. But that's another story. So when we talk about actually encounters that are more credible, we talk about the 50s and 60s, 70s, the landings of the craft and seeing the entities, the humanoids. And we've mentioned before about how Jim and Coral Lorenzen did a great job in the early days in covering these events.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people didn't want to touch them. Actually, John Keel wrote an article in True Magazine one time, and it was called "Never Mind the Saucer. Did you see the guys who were driving?"
Yeah, I remember seeing.
And it was controversial.
Yeah, that title somewhere. Yeah.
Well, the editor of True called him into his office at one point and showed him 6 giant bags of letters of the response people got that also believed that they'd had some kind of encounter or abduction experience. The problem for Shaver was he those voices followed him, even though he stopped being a welder. So he couldn't even. He was in the mental institution for a while.
No, hang on.
Michigan.
Why would they put him in a mental institution? Hang on a second.
Well, he was. He was married. He had a little girl, and he was having trouble coping because of these rays that he believed were bombarding him.
Mm-hmm.
And but Ypsilanti was kind of like almost like a country club because he could come home on weekends.
Oh.
Well, he eventually, a tragedy strikes. His wife is accidentally electrocuted. Richard Shaver's brother dies. He goes into a deep depression. He escapes Ypsilanti, goes across the U.S.
Yes.
Into Canada, and he's injured when he's hopping a ship to Nova Scotia. Okay. He's going to let himself drop into one of these holds. Yep. He thinks it's only about 12 feet. It's more like 40 feet. He really messes himself up.
Wow.
So they convalesces. They deport him back to the U.S. He's in an institution near Boston, and they ship him this time not to the country club, but to Ionia, Michigan.
Okay.
And that one, many people go in, but few people come out.
Not so much fun.
And the only reason he got out is, we think, is because his father died, and his mother had no other means of support.
Right.
But it was
can I interrupt? I mean, if somebody who talks to welding torches should be locked up for eternity.
He did not talk to the welding torches.
He
talked to him, I guess.
To the voices. Now that's how
it makes a difference, Clubb.
Because he just listened.
He was just hearing voices from the acetylene torch. Was not talking.
I don't know. I'm getting like Edward Modric vibes from this. Like, I didn't act upon the voice in my head. I just listened to it. Mm-hmm. And it was also in the back of my head physically.
He's probably got a lot of burns in his face too, from the torch. If he's
all of a sudden, what they say? What they say again? Well,
he to kind of close that loop, he started writing Ray Palmer.
Yes,
and he sent him an alphabet. He said it was the alphabet that all other alphabets were derived from. He called it the Manton alphabet. Mm-hmm. And so Shaver published that. Howard Brown, another editor, saw it. Who's this nutball?
Yes.
Throws it in the basket. Shaver retrieves it, publishes it. People respond to it. Shaver is encouraged. He sends him a 10,000-word letter called A Warning to Future Man that outlines the evil Darrow and their designs on the human race. And the rest is history. For several years, they published stories that were, in quotes, fact-based about the caves.
Yes.
But enough of that. Anyway, so back to the humanoid encounters.
Go ahead.
You don't usually see the classic Buck Rogers ray guns. But very commonly, the entity will have something in their hand, like a wand or something glowing on their belt or their chest.
Okay.
And the people, of course, associate this with sleep paralysis. And some of it probably is just sleep paralysis. Mm-hmm. But often it seems like the technology exists that they simply paralyze the individual. They go about whatever the heck they're doing. Yes. And the poor witness just kind of stands there watching it. But let's move on to something a little creepier. About as bad as the Shaver mystery, but it might actually be real. Bob Pratt, he wrote an interesting book called UFO Danger Zone. Bob Pratt was actually a reporter for the National Enquirer many years ago.
Wow.
And used to cover UFO stories.
Yes.
Well, this is back when the Enquirer was actually covering stories.
Right, yeah.
Legitimately, for UFOs. In fact, it was Pratt, I believe, broke the Travis Walton story. Mm-hmm. And that's the first time I read about it, was this big multi-page spread in the Enquirer. Well, he was sent by the Enquirer to South America to investigate some of these bizarre encounters. And then he went down there a total of about a dozen times over the years, compiling these really bizarre abduction cases. And during these, this is like back in the 70s, and these events were happening to farmers and people in rural areas that back then, when they hadn't been exposed to all the cable and satellite dish stuff like we are now, they didn't have all the science fiction and the information about UFOs. They would see things. They called it a chupa, and it was like a refrigerator on its back, and they'd fly around. And it would shoot out some kind of a heat ray. And it didn't make any sense at all, because some people were hit by this and got very ill. Some people actually died. There were several instances where the people were, this is one of the things, we talk a lot about John Keel and a lot of this being reflective and paranormal mimicry, and that perhaps we're not dealing with something completely physical. Well, this is something that does seem to be completely physical. And the entities do seem to be real flesh and blood and not very nice. It makes me think of The Most Dangerous Game, if you remember that classic story. There were several instances where you've got the farmer or the guy out in the rural area at night. One guy was coming home from town to his house, and all of a sudden there's this light above him. Hooks come down, and he's entangled in them, and they're pulling him up in this craft. This has happened several times, instances like this. And when he looks up in the craft, the hole, he can see people in there that look fairly human, sitting in chairs and so forth, very unemotionally, very detached. Remember the story Bill Ray told us about the attack on the Argentinian mine trawler?
Yeah, right, minesweeper, right?
But and this one guy, he was able to block the abduction attempt by putting his foot out on the edge of the opening, and he dropped back to earth and fell in one of these trees that has real sharp pickers on it or whatever. But there have been several cases like there was one where these cables came down and some funny little creature came down and put one of the clamps on the guy on his arm and started to pull him up into this craft. It's just bizarre, account after account. And there are several instances where people have been affected by some kind of radiation or whatever, and it's really, really gruesome. Several of them have died. So this is a UFO danger zone.
Let me ask you this.
Also, it was investigated by Jacques Vallée. Yes. He has confirmed some of the reports. And there's another investigator from Brazil that has done the same thing. I remember Brad Steiger years ago.
Yes.
Wrote a book called "Flying Saucers Are Hostile," kind of a
feel-good title.
Just a way to sell books, right?
Let me.
But if these stories are true, and it does seem like there's some validity to them, some of them do appear to be hostile. And I'm not sure that we could just call these ultra-terrestrials or some kind of a projection or tulpa. There seems to be real interaction between the entities, whatever they are, and their would-be captors. You wonder about the ones that were captured and didn't get away.
Where'd they go? Let me just ask the two beauties here, okay? Raven, you're walking down the street, a flying saucer comes over your head. They lower down cables, hooks, to take you away. What do you do?
So first instinct is like, I'll just hop in, whatever. But if it's a topa, no. Because that's something that's created, and that's some bad juju. But, I mean, again, I'd probably still hop in regardless.
Lois.
Get me out of here.
Lois, you're walking down the street. A UFO comes and lowers hooks to take you aboard. What would you do?
I'm running as fast as I can in the other direction.
You wouldn't go?
No, thank you.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm curious about it, but I would. Nope.
Let them pick on someone else.
Somebody else can go first.
Pick on me. That's fine. I'm going to put that out to the universe.
I get a feeling Switch would go. Switch would go, right? You'd go. You'd go with him when you switch.
No.
Clubb?
We have quite a. It really is interesting. I think there was one time when Jacques Vallée pointed out that it seemed like the action of the entities changed depending on what country they were reported in.
Wow,
in France, there was a wave of entity reports in the early to mid 50s, and they were silver-suited beings, kind of
hated Americans.
Very, very calm, very regal.
Okay. Sounds like the French
others
people
in South America. Prior to this, remember the ones with the hairy creatures that supposedly came out of the UFO with claws and were very volatile.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They need a shower.
Yeah.
They sound awesome.
Where'd they live?
I want to be friends with them.
And then early in the 50s or so, you've got some of the big-headed aliens in the U.S. Almost like the 50s science fiction movie.
Go ahead.
So it almost does seem like there's something to do with the a regional aspect.
It's like there's a cultural bias to it or something.
Yes, perhaps.
Yeah.
But when Bill Ray talked to us about, of course, he was the military remote viewer that taught a lot of the big name remote viewers.
Right.
And they had that blind target where it was an Argentinian minesweeper, as I recall.
Yep.
And there was a craft above it. There was something below under the water. They were panicking. The water was heating up. That had to be a real physical event.
In effect,
I remember Bill Ray saying that he had the impression that there were entities on board that were very clinical and very detached, and it's almost like they were conducting an experiment. Well, I can't help but think the same thing with some of these bizarre cases in South America. And traditionally, South America has been a UFO hotspot,
right,
but we just don't get those reports.
Right, yeah.
People aren't, we don't have enough people translating the reports, and they're kind of ignored, I guess, our own cultural bias.
Brazil.
We need to look at the whole spectrum.
Brazil is really big on UFOs. There's been lots of crazy UFO incidents, connected to Brazil, Hey, listen, so we got a few minutes left. I just want to wrap it up by talking about this whole idea that, there might have been ancient civilizations, thousands of years ago that, possessed high technology, some of which we have today, like nuclear bombs, because it turns out people are finding, really all over the globe, there's stuff called glassified. It's been glassified. And what that means is that it can only be made into a different substance by the intense heat of a nuclear bomb. And they find this stuff, at these cities we're talking about in India that the myths say were involved in the nuclear war. They find pieces of it in the desert, like the Sahara Desert, and they thought it's from a meteor hit. But they also found pieces of it at the first A-bomb test. After the first A-bomb test, they call it Trinitarium, after the Trinity, Operation Trinity, to explode the first A-bomb. So anyway, it seems like, slowly but surely they're gathering evidence that, something might be going on. I just wrote these things down as we were doing the research. Like, for instance, they have found in Africa rock engravings as old as 60 million years old that show a step-by-step procedure for heart surgery. I'm thinking about that for a second. How would they know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
60 million?
60 million years ago. Okay. The Egyptians, I didn't know this. The Egyptians were the first to manufacture clothes. They're the first ones to manufacture clothes and sell them. Before that, people would make their own clothes, right? So the Egyptians were credited for inventing clothes, in a way, manufacturing clothes. Yet in Russia, they found spindles and patent fabrics from 80,000 years ago. Patent fabrics. It's such an odd thing to find, Okay, the Babylonians used sulfur matches. They use matches like we do. They knew that, okay, and they're the ones that had electric batteries, okay. But electric batteries have also been found in India and Swahili land. A metal spike was found in a silver mine in Peru, okay. An iron tool was found in a coal mine. An iron tool was found in the coal. They're digging in the coal, and all of a sudden this thing has been buried in the coal. It had to be there millions and millions of years, right, Lois?
I would say that's what it seems to indicate.
Okay, and this one hits a little bit, the last one hits a little bit close to home. A metal bell-shaped vessel inlaid with silver floral design was blasted out of the rock in Dorchester, Massachusetts. How about that? Probably a bomb went off. And
an inlaid floral design?
Yes, a design, yep.
Oh, that's upsetting.
On a vessel that they found inside a rock. In Dorchester, and it was stolen an hour later.
It's one of the original beer steins.
Yeah, probably. That's where we get it from. Okay.
And remember, all these monolithic structures, how the blocks go together perfectly.
Crazy.
There's no spaces, and that's one thing we keep forgetting is that these massive structures. I know the stones sometimes came from miles away, and just assembling these things, we've never really come to grips about how that's done.
Right.
And these things are all over the planet.
Yep. They're down in South America. There are fortresses up in the Andes in South America. They're put together with slabs of rock that are 400 tons. You couldn't lift 400 tons up the Andes right now, or you could, but it would take, $400 billion. How did they do it? And not only that, as Switch says, they're put together perfectly. You can't even put like a piece of paper between them. No cement, nothing. They were just, fitted right, and you can't do that these days either. So listen. So anyway, so this is
you can see the tile job I did in our bathroom.
Oh, really?
I did not have that ancient technology.
You didn't have the DNA of the Incas.
Come to our bathroom. We need that. We need that.
You don't want me to touch. You don't want me to touch it.
Let me. Wow. Okay.
I'll clean the toilet bowl. I won't try.
Wait a minute. Stop it. You used to do that in the sub, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Let's thank the two dropouts first. Juan had to go on a secret mission halfway through the show, but I'm assuming he had a good time. Coco was on a secret mission tonight, but also Lonely Larry left us, and I can only turn to Raven just for some explanation. Did you hear scream and all of a sudden the camera went? Did you hear snore?
I have no idea.
I heard snoring.
No, I was looking down, having my beer and having a good time, and I looked up and
he was gone.
I swear I saw a vortex open.
Really?
Oh, Switchy, you might be right.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like his property might be like on where like the veil is a little thin. So you could be right.
Lonely Larry. Yeah. Okay. I thought the cat would stick around, but no.
My cat is here.
Let's see Friday real quick. Yep. Let's see what happens here.
Friday is back there on my desk.
For a radio show. Yeah, I guess I can see a cat there. Okay.
Sort of. It's hard to see.
All right. I have my shades
I'm in a dark room.
So thank you. And the cat and your beagle, Scotch and water. He's doing okay? Yep.
He's good. Yeah. I bought them Halloween costumes. Oh my God. How did I not mention this?
Go ahead.
So
30 seconds.
Friday has a little tiny sombrero and Scotch has an aviator costume with the Snoopy goggles and the red scarf.
See, this is Anthony.
That's adorable.
Animal cruelty.
It is so cute.
All right.
I have pictures. Don't worry, I'll email them to you.
Send me pictures and I will send them to the ASPCA. Did you get costumes for yourself, or that's a little bit further down the road?
So I do have a costume for myself.
Go ahead.
You watched 90 Day Fiance, so you know Darcy and Stacy, okay?
I hate Stacy.
I'm going to be Darcy. My cousin's going to be Stacy for Halloween. We're going to do the big lips.
Oh, really?
And we're going to do some balloons in this area and blonde wigs. Okay. We're going to go all out.
Okay. All right. Juan will want pictures of that. I don't like Stacy. Darcy, I can stomach, not Stacy.
See, I feel the same way. I feel like Darcy is like my soul sister.
Really?
I feel like Stacy is a little too much, and they're twins, so it's like they should be. And I'm pretty sure they're both Geminis, and I love Geminis.
So that's four people.
I know Lois is a Gemini.
You're dealing with four people. Yes, Lois is a Gemini, but a very good Gemini, I would say, Lois.
Yeah. Oh, Geminis are great.
He's lying.
I love Geminis.
No, we all do. So anyway, we should wrap up the show. Switch has the train wreck image in back, so that's the key. I want to thank Lonely Larry for stopping by, and I'm sure he's having a good sleep right now. And also Juan. Thank you, Clubb, for joining us. Clubb, thank you.
Oh, another great, very informative night. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we thanks for that off-air advice about the IRS. Okay, Brody.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Off-air advice.
Thank you very much. Switch, thank you. Switch, thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay. What's on the menu for tomorrow's breakfast? So you just want to tease us?
I've got a lot of stuff to do. I'm going to be gone the next 3 weekends. 2 of the weekends I'll be speaking.
Oh, that's right.
So,
Plug yourself. Plug yourself.
Well, Hobbies is going to have to close down where you're going.
Who is
I'll have to
Switch?
just eat something on the fly.
To put your face in a milk can. Hey, listen, a milk carton. What's the first speech you're giving? Is it this weekend coming up?
This weekend, a bunch of us are going to visit Point Pleasant.
Well,
in just West Virginia.
Yep.
Home of the Mothman. We just hang out.
Yep.
And then the next weekend is the Van Meter Visitor Festival, Van Meter, Iowa, commemorating the Week of Terror of the strange winged creature that plagued them in 1903. I will be talking about the Shaver mystery there.
Oh, cool.
The whole spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following weekend, I'll be in Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Wow.
The Bray Road Conference, which is the home of the Dogman, Elkhorn.
Cool.
And I'll be talking about cryptids, but the high strangeness aspects and making a lot of connections, parallels, and patterns.
Switch.
In that sort of thing.
Switch, promoting Switch. Switch for Switch. That's cool. And you're getting thousands of dollars appearance fees, correct?
And I just had an interview with Roland Watson, who's written several books on Loch Ness. And you can hear him on the High Strangeness Factor on the Paranormal UK radio network. He was a great interview.
Mm-hmm. On your show, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I heard Raven on that show a couple weeks ago. I want to thank you for plugging our show during your appearance.
Well, of course.
I do appreciate that. All right, Switch is a busy man. Busy. You got to get people soon there, Switchy. You got to get people and then fire them.
And then the redhead expects me to do chores around the house. Doesn't she know who I am?
Yeah, well, she's keeping your feet on the ground. Hopefully she doesn't listen to the show. Thank you, Switch.
Who does she think she is?
Raven, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
So the glasses a permanent thing, or are they just this week?
Just this week.
Really?
My contacts were eating my eyeballs alive. So hopefully by next week, I'm going to have this situation figured out.
It's not going to be a look. It's not a look. Lois, don't you like that look, or you don't like the look?
I think she looks lovely either way.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Lois.
Thank you,
I
Raven.
can't stand my glasses. I feel like I look like such a freak.
Oh, that's silly.
We'll be the judge of that. Don't worry. Thank you, Lois, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Did you get all your homework done while you were there?
Not all.
Not all of it, but some of it.
I was distracted by scintillating conversing and lots of laughs.
Okay. Really? Yeah. Okay.
What show were you listening to?
Yeah, what were you listening to? She was listening to the Red Sox game. It's a lot of laughs lately. Thank you for joining us, Lois. We really appreciate it. And we want to thank everyone out there. And let's just give the plugs real quick. First of all, listen to Switchy's show on Paranormal
UK Radio Network.
Yeah, it's funny. That guy who's with you.
They can find your show on that same network as well as many other platforms.
That guy who's on with you, Andy, the English guy?
Andy Mercer is my co-host. He's not. He wasn't there for the Loch Ness interview. He's on occasionally. I have rotating co-hosts.
Really? Do you? Okay. Andy sounds a little bit like an English serial killer. I'm not the first person to say that, correct?
No. Oh, he's so nice. I love his.
But he has that voice. You know that voice?
I love it.
Really?
And a very smart guy, too.
Okay. Well, they're all smart over there.
The English accent makes it like
everyone went to
like
Oxford.
You're so intelligent,
exactly.
And like the hot factor, just like it just all lines up.
Really? Yeah, that's all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got to tell this story now. Lois, when she was growing up, she dreamed that she'd marry someone with an accent, and it turned out to be a Boston accent. So not all dreams come true the way that you want them to be. So anyway, thank you. And maybe we'll have Andy on the show sometime, Switch. I sent that to you and you didn't respond. You don't think Andy would?
Oh, that'd be a great idea.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Maybe we can get him to confess to something in the air. Make some press for the show. Thank you. And I want to thank, I want to plug Homes for Our Troops. Homes for Our Troops is a military charity that spends 88 cents of every dollar given to build houses for war veterans from Afghanistan and also Iraq. Soldiers who came home with not all their limbs, they make these houses more adaptable for them, lower counter space, wider hallways, easier stairs to get up and down. And then when they're done, they just give them the keys, no mortgage, nothing. They just get the house for free. They deserve it. And they've built, I think, something like 450 of these houses over the past 10 years or so. Great charity. Homes for Our Troops. Just Google them, please. Also, our good friend, Raj Sharp, and his mad Englishman friends are putting together a Mosquito warplane from World War II, putting back together. It was the warplane that was built of wood because they were running out of steel. They built it of wood, put 2 Rolls-Royce engines on it, and the fastest thing in the world in the war for about 2 years or so. Used to outrun the bullets, as Lama would say. And that's it, I think. Thank you, everyone out there, for listening, especially downloads are creeping in on 70,000 downloads, which sounds really kind of nutty. But thank you for everyone downloading us and also our network stations and our friends at Armed Forces Radio. Thanks for listening. And this is Mac for the entire gang. Have I left anything out, Lois?
I think you covered it all, Mac.
Okay, all right. This is Mac for the entire gang saying, till you hear us again, be safe, be happy, and bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.